There's a lot on the line tomorrow. College football, once again, about to deliver. You got the Holy War, BYU and Utah taking place. Texas Tech, Colorado, obviously a massive one. Ole Miss, Georgia. I mean, here we go. We got massive games this weekend, and then Indiana is a 14.5 favorite at home against Michigan. So college ball is bananas, and Gumpy, is Miami going to be okay?
That's a tough test.
What do you think?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're second half. We're just getting warmed up first half of game. Second half, we take over.
I'm about done listening to Gumpy every single week talk about how the Hurricanes are going to blow it to some team, and then inevitably they win, and he goes, just like I thought. It's like these Miami fans have been on a roller coaster, but they're in it. College ball's great. So is AFC North football. Last night on Prime. Living up, I mean, everything everybody said about this particular game. You know, hey, the over's going to hit. Derrick Henry's going to score. Lamar's going to go crazy. Joe Burrow's going to go crazy. The only thing that didn't happen, I think, that everybody kind of expected to happen is Derrick Henry rushing for like 200 yards because that's what they've done. Lou Anarumo made Derrick Henry the one guy, seemingly early going in. We are not going to let this king ruin the game. They had a great strategy for that. And then late in the game, obviously, the Baltimore Ravens start juking and jiving and making some plays and kind of switch it up a little bit. And I think it all started with that Baltimorean fella up in the crowd. Everybody else is sitting down. And he says, I paid how much for these tickets? Guys looking like a bunch of assholes out here. Come on. Well, obviously, the message was received. There's a fumble on the next drive, next series. Then Baltimore rolls. And then Joe Burrow does what we've all expected from Joe Burrow immediately upon stepping into the NFL because of what he did on this field right here with this university. It's like Joe Burrow performed great, made it a game late. They come back, storming back. He becomes unwavering, and they can even win the damn game. Now, Lamar Jackson is only human on earth that can do this.
Yep.
Not just throw it back across his body like he did the last time against Cincinnati in a similar play. Let me go ahead and tight rope right down the sideline for a first down, and then inevitably be a guy that, you know, is unstoppable. Zay Flowers looked like he was so incredibly fast, only goes for like 36 yards. Obviously, Mark Andrews makes a couple plays out there. You got studs all over the place for this Baltimore Ravens offense, and it was needed and evident in that second half. And still, Joe Burrow, with this slow start that they've had, up against it a little bit. Now they're 4-6. It's like, if they don't get held and he don't get hit in the face, they win that game. They win that game.
That's what people are saying.
That's the whole conversation happening in Ohio, and I believe Zach Taylor's wife even put out a post like, you know how much time this guy's committing to this entire thing? I guess we'll just move on, but damn, that's not how it's supposed to go.
Well, and that's what Zach Taylor said right after, too, because I think one of the reporters asked him, one of the journalists said, like, how frustrating is it to, you know, have this result when the game's this close and you guys are winning? He's like, look, we pour our heart and souls into this shit, and it's real, and it stinks that they do, but the Ravens are too good. They really are. They're kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to football right now because, I mean, what was it, 9 minutes left in the third? They're down 21-7 since he's getting the ball back, and then this happens.
A jump pass.
Yeah, they're just they're almost dicking around out there, the Ravens, in only 20 minutes of the game. Thicking around, excuse me. I screwed that up once again. But Baltimore is the best team in the league, you could say. I saw a lot of people on the internet, though, saying, this secondary, are you kidding me? Joe Burrow again, this is going to come back to bite them in the ass, which it very well might, but for the Bengals, you got to be kind of kicking yourselves because no T. Higgins, and they're still doing this. And Jamar, I saw 11 catches, 264, whatever, 258, 3 touchdowns. No career highs.
How many fantasy points?
He had 55 fantasy points, which if you're playing that guy in fantasy,
what a throw,
which there may be a team up here that is playing him in fantasy this week, go ahead and take Sunday off. You don't have to adjust your lineup. You don't have to do shit.
Hey,
you lost.
Hey, Travis Kelce, we need you to go for about 5-6 against Denver. Now, with that being said, for our fantasy team, let's go back to this. Jamar Chase and Joey on this field, obviously, it all gets started. Jamar is insane. And now that's the lack of a penalty being called on 2-point conversion. And then I believe Joey also got hit in the face, and there was another hold. I mean, there was a lot of things that people are nitpicking about because it was a game-winning play. Nonetheless, I think if you're a fan of both teams, they both showed up, AJ. Jamar Chase is phenomenal. Joey B is great. It's not a win, so obviously you can't be too excited about it, but both these teams, we thank them for their performance. And the over was the easiest pick of the year, easiest bet of the year, and obviously they run right through it, even though early it might not have happened.
Yeah, I mean, this game was it was very fun to watch. I know 7:05, I believe, in the third quarter is when Marlon Humphrey rips that ball out. And that changed everything, right? That was shortly after they showed the Baltimore guy, right? Losing his mind in the crowd. The crowd was down. They were they weren't really in it. And right here, I know Bruce even said they cut to Lamar shortly after this. And Lamar is you could tell Lamar's thinking, yep, here we go. This is all we needed. Just crack the door a little bit, and I'm going to bust right through that thing. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's busting. Right here, is there any chance anybody else can tightrope the sideline on that?
No.
He looked completely bottled up, and the dude gets almost scores. He is an absolute freak. And as we talked yesterday, like Coach Chuck said, it changes the way you rush. You can't pin your ears back, as they say, and
He's
rush
on the
after
30
this guy.
there, 32-yard line.
Yeah, he covers 25
These are NFL athletes. These are all the rest of these guys are the best guys that ever played at their high school, their college, wherever. These guys are the best athletes on the planet. And Lamar almost can toy with people. He's so quick and fast and so patient. Right here, this touchdown here.
Tightrope.
I'm not sure how this one happens. What a run right there.
Couple loafs.
Absurd.
I don't know if you could say it's a loaf. I mean, I don't know if you got to, right, that, okay, that's
Great
tough.
play.
He's going for the ball right here. This one, you got a tough angle, but man, you would think you could get him out.
Get him on
heck of a
balance.
job, though. Heck of a job keeping your feet. And then another one here. Everything about this game was wild. It was a fun game to watch. Honestly, it really was.
Yeah, absolutely. And, on the call, Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, obviously we, as people that know Ben and know Kirk very well, just want to send out our positive vibes to Herbie. Way to battle through last night.
Oh, yeah,
Herbie.
Good work, Kirk.
Obviously not easy. I got a text from him. I think he was almost feeling guilt, for calling the game in the moment. It's Herbie,
Ben would have
just
wanted it.
remember all the great times of Ben in the boot. Those types of things. He was going through it. So was the entire world. I think it's up over 20 million views on the X post, let alone on Instagram. And I think it's a good reminder that there's a lot of things happening in our world that people are watching and they don't feel as motivated to maybe comment about it on social, but it's still affecting their life. And I know a lot of people have been very positive about Kirk and Ben throughout the entirety of Ben's popularity here and being showcased everywhere. But there's always a few people that are going to be negative publicly about it. It's the overwhelming support that Herbie got yesterday, the overwhelming display of love for Ben that was shown yesterday. I think that was a beautiful thing. And for those of us that got to meet, it was a human. I mean, Ben was a human out there. He's curious, obviously phenomenally curious. Would walk over to anything, kind of check it out, and then how you guys doing? And then just walk out. That's why he was beloved literally everywhere. Everybody that met him was like, wow, this is the coolest dog of all time. His aura radiated positivity. And I think it's obviously because Kirk and Ben's relationship was so good, the amount of time that Kirk invested in Ben when Ben was a puppy and whenever he was growing up, for their relationship to be what it is, where Ben could literally just tail him without a leash and would just walk around and roam free, and everybody loved it. It's Ben was a special dog. Their relationship was a special one, and I think we were all very lucky to kind of get a chance to experience it. And anybody that's ever had a dog obviously understands what Kirk's going through right now, but their relationship was special. Ben was special, and dogs go to heaven, right?
Yeah, all dogs go to heaven. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Okay, so I believe that Ben would certainly be the dog that would go to heaven if any dog went to heaven, since all dogs do go to heaven,
Well,
which
do
they
any
should. I'm on the
dogs?
side.
Do all dogs go?
That's the name of the title.
That's the movie.
That's the
movie.
Just said that.
That's the movie.
I would believe that.
Maybe
Yeah,
not
we
all
did just say
dogs.
that.
Don't do this
the,
today, AJ.
All dogs should go to heaven, probably.
Yeah, because bad dogs are usually bad owners. All dogs
That's a good
should
point.
go to heaven.
Yeah, good point. Do any
Yeah,
dogs
'cause
come out
owner-
bad?
Owner go to hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Dogs
That's
didn't deserve it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
Straight
that
to heaven.
is.
We solved that.
That should have been the subtitle of that movie.
Yeah.
It was.
Bad dogs still go to heaven because owner is going to hell.
That's right.
I think that's probably the right play. But nonetheless, Ben was amazing.
It's a member of the
and I think
family.
everybody
So
understands.
I was texting with Kirk. Yeah, it's a member of the family. It's true. It's a real thing.
I think
feel.
everybody who has a pet dog feels that way too.
Yeah.
You know, but what Ben and Kirk, that was a cool.
Yeah.
Because Kirk's just literally they're just walking around and Ben's just like everywhere was a park. And Ben didn't poop on people's shit. I mean, it was just he understood. Okay, I'm a guy. All right, let me get. Can I get to this grass patch over here? I need to dump. You guys don't want me to dump here? I know that. I need to go over there. It was all those things, let alone the hotels and
Never barking, never causing a problem. Even when, we're talking about the tiger being here, Ben would probably walk up to the tiger and be like, hey, we're good. I know you're a cat. I know I'm a dog, but we see eye to eye here. And that was kind of the coolest thing with Ben was, he was cool with everybody.
No chirping out of Ben.
Nope.
No barking out of Ben. Didn't want to disrupt anything. It was He was a special dog, man. That's the canine cancer, is a real thing. Happens to a lot of people. And obviously Kirk is in a position where he was able to try a lot of different treatments and medicines. And Sam and I were running For the Brand, which was a foundation that would pay for people to be able to put their dog through the cancer surgeries, whether it's removing a lump or the chemo, because it's all incredibly expensive. And we learned that through our dog Valerie, who has had cancer 4 times, but the first time she got it, we go in and they tell us the price of the surgery. And it was like, if they would have told my mom and dad that price whenever I was a kid growing up, there's no way in hell that would ever take place. So a lot of people were losing their members of their family because of the price of these cancer procedures. Cancer in dogs is very real. It is very widespread. The treatment prices are bananas. And hopefully with Ben happening here, we can raise a little bit, and maybe we can get those prices go a little bit down, so more people can potentially do that. So obviously it got to a point where it spread to his organs. He couldn't operate anymore, but like dog cancer is very real. And in certain breeds of dog too, it's much more prevalent. So if you're a dog owner, I think this is a nice reminder to kind of check in on that, see what it is. And if you're in the dog medicine world, let's also think about lowering the price for this type of stuff.
How do we do
I don't know. I think attention to it's real, because I think everybody just is like, yep, that's the price. Okay, well, there's nothing I can do with
this dog. It's astronomical for anything your dog has. Like, it is tough to go in there.
So much. And I think everybody just is like, yep, like that's just what the price is. It's like, does it have, is that real? Is that what it has to be? So me and Sam have put a pause on that particular foundation because Mackenzie's birth and everything like that. We are going to kick it back up I don't want to give a projection of a time, but we are going to get back into it. But the amount of stories that were emailed in and sent in, the amount of dogs, I think she helped hundreds, if not thousands, of dogs through the entire thing. It's like cancer is very prevalent in dogs. Let's make sure we're checking out our four-legged kids here. And if you're in the dog medicine world, let's
lower it.
Let's try, to lower those prices. But rest in peace, Ben. You done good, boy.
Oh, yeah, Ben.
You done good, boy.
Good boy, Ben.
You done good. Last night's game was awesome, though, AJ, for real.
Wait, I know, but where do the Bengals go from here? What's their season like? Do they have a chance? Do they have to win out for the playoffs? Like, what's going on with them?
I mean, you just say, like, if they win every game, they're good.
Yeah.
Right?
But do they have to win every game to get in tie? What do you think?
I mean, look in the division, like the Steelers, unless they completely crumble, and same with I don't know.
Bengals 4-6 now. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they still have what? They have to play the Steelers twice. It's not like they have an easy road. I mean, I don't know. You look at these stats, and it's like, what more can they do? Joe Burrow, these last several games, we're talking about him as an MVP candidate, and for whatever reason, because whether it's the defense or untimely turnovers, they just can't figure it out. I mean, I think watching them, they could turn things around. They could rip off, 7 in a row and finish the season 11-6. But the NFL is just too. I mean, is that likely? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, I think they really needed that one last night, especially being up 2 touchdowns and potentially going down to go up 28-7 and kind of put that thing away.
They win 7 straight, though. They're at 11-6.
Yeah. Yeah, so can do it.
So can get in. Can get in.
I think they're
going to have to fix a lot of things. And obviously, Coach Dan Hurley knows this, and I think I heard AFC North legend AP Tone starting there, and this is a good end there. Coach Dan Hurley of UConn, massive Bengals fan, have the Steelers 2 times coming up. Yep. If the Steelers sweep the Bengals in those 2 games, Coach Dan Hurley has to wear a Pittsburgh Steelers hat at a press conference. Ooh. And if the Bengals sweep the Steelers, which is what they're going to have to do to make it if they want to go anywhere this particular year, Tone Diggs will have to wear a Bengals jersey or hat for an entire show. Tony, you think it's possible, brother?
For the Bengals, based on their offense, I kind of do. Like their schedule, we're looking at it right now. Like the Steelers is probably the best offense that they're going to play, and it's not like the Steelers' offense is a complete juggernaut. Yeah, they've played better with Russ, but it's not like they're like one of the top offenses in the league. Cowboys are probably going to be without Dak. The Titans aren't a great offense. The Browns are definitely not. The Broncos are a rookie quarterback. Chargers on Sunday Night Football, they've had the best defense in the league points per game so far, but their offense hasn't been tearing it apart. I think if their defense can get right against these offenses that aren't some of the best in the league, and their offense still plays the way that they have been, I actually do think the Bengals have a chance, and it pains me to say that.
Isn't it crazy to think about the Bengals defense last night? Probably feeling so good. Bengals fans probably we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. 2.5 quarters, we're doing it. I actually was watching going, damn, I didn't think the bank, because we were heavy over predictors yesterday. Everybody that was talking into a microphone on this program.
A lot of tweets in that first half.
That's what I'm saying. But the tweets obviously against us talking about the over. Obviously, it ends up happening. Did they make that right? Journalistic standards?
No,
Did they come back?
No, I didn't see a follow-up tweet. I didn't actually.
Obviously, that doesn't happen. But for those first 2.5 quarters, let alone the whole, we're definitely not hitting the over if this is how this is going to go. I also thought to myself, like, congrats, Lou Anarumo.
Yeah.
Like, Lou, this is the hardest offense you're going to have. You have figured it out. And then, like a sieve, that thing just kind of opened up on him.
Well, it's one of those things, too, where it's like, hey, if you tell me Derrick Henry has 68 yards and Zay Flowers has 34 yards, like, oh, yeah, the Bengals won in a blowout. And obviously, there are a couple plays like that Tylan Wallace sideline step, and then Mark Andrews coming up huge, and a couple timely turnovers. But if you are a Bengals fan, you got to think, like, yeah, we still have a chance. Like, they put on a fantastic show, defense flying around, and that was a conversation Chuck brought up yesterday. Like, they were missing guys in the interior, and their backup guys on the D-line were stepping up. And, 34 points against the Ravens defense, yeah, you can talk about the Ravens secondary being terrible. They were pretty one-dimensional. Like, they didn't really try and run the football because of how good the Ravens' run defense was. And you would think after this bye week, hopefully if they can beat the Chargers on Sunday Night Football, after the bye week you get, a healthy 100% T. Higgins back, and then you could easily make it at 10-7. Like, we're talking about them running the table, sure, like 11-6 definitely in. 10-7 might get the job done. And like I would still feel good as a Bengals fan. You don't feel great. I mean, you just lost a game you probably felt like you should have won. But I also love the fact that they went for 2. Like, that second half,
I wanted to ask you,
turnover.
you agree, Colin? People always say if you don't go for 2 and you kick it, everyone's like, oh, you should have gone for 2. But when you go and miss it, I feel like most people think, yeah, that was a good idea.
Well, that was the thing after Sunday. Like, the Patriots, Dolphins, and then there was one other. They all didn't go for 2.
The Bucs.
The Bucs against the Chiefs, yeah. They all didn't go for 2 when they're dogs, on the road, and they score in the last minute. You might as well go for the win. They don't. They all end up losing. But in this situation, they line up to go for 2. Call timeout, and then you think, like, okay, they're going to kick go to overtime. Then come back out and still go for 2. Like, I love that move. Obviously, a lot of people were saying, like, why aren't you throwing it to Jamar Chase? And Jamar Chase, after, in his press conference, was saying, like, yeah, I'm always open. I thought there's a chance I was getting the football maybe. But, like, I think it's a great move, especially when you think about what the Ravens were doing, from that fumble on. They were rolling. They really couldn't be stopped. So I'm a fan of the go for 2. Obviously, it stings hindsight. Oh, you should have kicked it. I'm sure people will say that, but like, why not go for the win? You need it. You're 4-5. You're trying to get back to 500. It's a division opponent. You're on the road in prime time. Like, hell yeah, go for the win.
What was the stat I read yesterday from Hembo? I think 2-point conversions are only being completed at like a 32% clip or something like that this season. Last year and the year before that, it was up over 50.
Wow.
So I think this year it's a little bit different in the red zone. Teams in the red zone, I think that's why we saw scoring down at the beginning of the year, because the red zone defenses were going to clamp down. The 2-point conversion stats, successful 2-point conversion stats, also down this year, like pretty far down. So I think a lot of coaches maybe have felt that trend whenever they decide to kick the extra point as opposed to going for 2. But if you're this Cincinnati Bengals team, and you were up big, then all of a sudden they come roaring back. Like, I don't think you want to go to overtime. Like, I think that is let's try to steal this right now type situation in Baltimore. So I like that they clearly utilized some feel for the situation as well. Now, he got punched in the face. I mean that's egregious.
That's a call that usually doesn't get missed, right?
Well, there was a couple earlier too, I think, right?
He got hit pretty late in the pocket too.
Hands to the face to the quarterback is a tough one to miss.
Yeah, on a game-winning play. I mean,
that's twice on Thursday Night Football now?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, can't have that. Can't be
twice on Thursday Night Football.
Now, they obviously would move it up to the 1-yard line there, and they would have to have another go in this entire thing. And who knows if they make that one or not. Yeah, push possibly. Like, they had the tight end come over and do it, right? Isn't that what?
On a 4th down.
They had tight end come over, 87 or whatever, come over and do it instead of Joe Burrow. I like that. Like, we like Joe. We also like the thought of the push. Let's figure out how to get somebody else in there to do that. For 1 yard, you could probably make that happen again. But overall, I think great game. And if you're a Bengals fan, I guess 10-7 would get you in there.
Yeah, right. I feel like, especially when you look at the other divisions.
Well, you look at all the games left for all the other top. There's a lot of big games left for a lot of top teams, because the end of the season, everybody's trying to pack in and make it look good, the schedule makers. And I think there could be some losses for some other teams too. I think 10 wins gives you a shot. I don't know if it's a guarantee, but I think it gives you a shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
AFC North.
If you're a Bengals fan, that you don't feel terrible about the rest of your schedule either.
No, but if you are going to drop one, I don't think you want it to be against the Chargers next week because I think that's another team that they're going to be jockeying with for one of those playoffs.
Yeah, the
spots.
Chargers are 5-3 in the 6th spot right now, and in the 7th spot, the Broncos are 5-4. So it's not like are those teams going to hang on? Maybe, but no, I think the Bengals are definitely still.
Yeah, they're going to get to 10. It seems like a race to 10.
Yeah.
Almost. Can you get to 10 wins? If you can, you might be in a good spot, and the Bengals can.
Yeah, if they figured it out on defense, especially like that, because that's been their whole thing.
2.5 quarters, they had it.
I thought they were going to win. I thought Lou Anarumo had some Sunday sauce on a Thursday, and all of a sudden they were going to get the job done.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, Sunday gravy.
Right
Yeah.
here.
And
Right
Tylen
here.
Wallace
Backbreaker.
tightrope in the sideline.
Who is this guy?
No
How is he
idea.
able to stay in bounds? We don't know. His toes are in, his heels hovering out of bounds. What a freak athlete. And welcome to the conversation, Mr. Wallace. You're a stud. Legit. I don't know. That last one, it's his right foot, Foxy. It's his right foot. If you go back to that.
Where the
it's
heel
like a
was up and the
screenshot
toe
of
was
his
down.
heel.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's his right foot, like right there. It's that one. The left one also close, but his right foot, I think, was like toe in, heel out of bounds, still running down the field. It's like my Achilles would burst at the seams.
Oh,
there.
for sure. Right here.
It just completely burst at the seam.
Yeah, here it comes.
This one, right?
There, right there, yeah. So heel
That
in the
one.
air, toe in the green.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
and remember, if his shin would have went down there, but,
Out. Out.
Hey, what's that bat you've been swinging around?
okay, this is from Jack Marucci. All right,
yeah.
Paisan Marucci. I don't know his exact connection with the school or us, but I do know this guy makes some good wood.
Those
Guy
aren't
makes some
very
good
nice
wood.
bats.
Yes.
The Marucci?
Yeah, very nice
Awesome.
bats.
They're
I'd like to
metal
say
bats.
thank
Kind of
you.
wood.
Sick, too.
Kind of the wood they use for that rig.
I'd like to say thank you to Paisan Marucci for the wood here. Handcrafted for the brand, custom cut M.
So they put
and then
the thing
look
on
at
a
the bottom of
lathe.
this thing.
Ty, they put that on a lathe and a guy makes that?
Yeah.
So
This guy's a.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
See, look at that craftsmanship. That is
That's
just top
amazing.
notch.
Jack Marucci was the former head athletic trainer at LSU. He built his first baseball
sweet.
bat in his backyard in 2002.
Wow.
Boys.
There
Oh,
it
you
is.
look like
There
Shohei.
it
Is
is.
that Shohei?
You want me to do show? Hey,
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. What about Pete Rose? You know Pete Rose's stance? He had his little elbow he would do his little thing with.
Well, Pete Rose said if I'm right here, and if I'm tight, I just move right here. And if I'm right, I just move right here. It's easier. There's no slump in it.
Yeah.
Do one of this.
That's all it is.
Yeah, everybody wants to change their swing. Don't change change where you're.
Speaking of that,
was a great
Pat,
bat. Go ahead, pal.
Tucker missed another extra point last night.
Yeah, I heard that and seen that. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Go back to the beginning of that thing because there were some hypotheses all the way back to the
Gotta be
beginning.
dinged up or something, right? Has to be dealing with something.
You would think he had a strain. I reached out to him earlier in the season and said, "You hurt? You don't feel obligated to tell me." And he says not. So there has to be something going up with the operation. Maybe this doesn't happen.
Is it same holder? Same holder as normal?
Snapper too. I wonder. I think Stott's been there for a bit. I wonder about the snapper. There's been so many things in the kicking world that have been talked about that like this doesn't just happen. Especially this deep into a career. But he's missed it all the same. They're all going left. So
What does that mean? Like if you're kicking it left, what does that mean?
So you're either hitting the ball fat, you're either hitting higher on the ball, you're hitting a little bit fat, so you're pulling it, or just like in golf, you're coming, kind of like an inside out, like kind of one
You're
of
doing
those
that
things.
thing that Scotty told you not to, where your hands are going
Yeah.
over.
Turn over.
Yeah, so
over.
with your hips, you could do that actually. So if you're hitting it to the left, you can get too quick, and then bang, all of a sudden you're going this way, right? But then there's also times, like you can tell when somebody's scared, right? You can tell when somebody's scared because they're just trying to like guide it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like a scare miss is to the right. So like, because you don't close ever, so you never close your hips.
Well, I
So,
slice
like,
the ball
whenever-
sometimes in golf because I'm sitting there, I fall back and I'm scared to pull it into the woods or something, so I just slice it 1,000 yards right.
Yeah, that means you're coming outside in, right? I think on the slice thing is what it is. That's probably why you do it. But
Yeah.
like for kicking, it's like guys are scared to like attack it, so they're just trying to like guide it in.
Yeah.
So if you try to guide it in, your hips are always going to be open. It goes to the right. So normally, you can tell if somebody's like scared. if the ball goes to the right. Now, it might be just miscontact, bad hold. There's so many different things that go into it. For him, it's just a timing thing, it seems like. It seems like it's all a timing issue, whether that's on the snap, the get off, when he's leaving, how he's leaving, or if it's when his hips are going. Because those long balls, like, there's a couple long ones he missed that I think if he was like 10 yards closer, it goes in. Nobody talks about it. We just keep it moving. But because it's farther, it kind of exposes the issue. Extra point being a miss, like, I don't know, something's got to happen.
What's that like mentally,
I believe,
Pat, what's it like mentally if I just cannot imagine for how great he has been if you're missing extra points. I just don't know. Could you make one good kick where it snaps you out of it? Like, I don't know how does that work? I
think so, especially with Justin Tucker, with how big of a mental warrior he's been in this particular thing. But this is the first time.
Yeah.
I don't even know in Texas if there's ever was a time at Texas. This dude is just, since the day he started kicking balls, I think he's been laser focused, locked in, going straight ahead. So I think because he's a professional, be able to get out there. What's the Ravens' schedule look like going forward? Do we know what their schedule is? Because if he gets a big game winner against somebody.
That's all it takes, right? If you hit one big one, it's like, all right, all those misses, whatever. I just won the game for my team.
And he's going to say that he's only – the bye week, that's what I was looking for, is the bye. Because then you can actually make some work and, like, have some real film and, like, real breakdown and, like, separate yourself from it a little bit, maybe get a new swing. But I think Tucker will figure it out.
That's tough.
I think Tucker will figure it out. Week 14 bye is late, by the way. That is – good for the playoff push, though, I guess. AJ, is the way you would look at that entire thing?
Yeah, hopefully get healthy. As a kicker, man, I know it's crazy to me. I just don't. I would never want my kids to be a kicker. I know that.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, I guess I shouldn't talk about it because I chose not to have that problem in the NFL.
Well, I mean, you did in college, though. You kicked in college. Big deal.
In punting, it can happen, but in punting, it's
a lot less obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I just hit the ball far, people are going to think I'm doing my job right. With kicking, it's like a clear success or not success.
And if you shake a punt, people probably won't remember that after the game unless it legit happened at the very end of the fourth quarter or something.
Or you're backed up, but also you could shank a punt and get a 20-yard bounce.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys, and I'm not going to throw them under the bus. They know who they are. They know who they are.
They know.
They have some records or whatever, and it's like, bro, you're getting 20-yard bounces every time you kick because your balls are actually so crap. Your balls are so bad, they can't even catch them. And then you get but you'll live with one of those. Those are going to happen for every single punter. So it's I think in the punting world, you can have misses that are successes. In kicking, you can't. It's just not, that's not how, you're not going to hit a ball shit and then it's going to accidentally just go back in. It's over and everybody knows it. And that's the difference. And I'm thankful I didn't have to do that. But that is why the Vinatieri thing for 20-some years doing it has always been the GOAT conversation.
And at the highest level in the Super Bowl. Are we sure it wasn't because of the all-purple uniforms that they're wearing?
Those were sick.
Dude, the gold face mask on the helmets also. I didn't see that little detail before, but yeah, I thought they were awesome.
Gold, purple and gold, kind of taking over the sports world. You got the Plum Mustangs, purple and gold. Sure. Boys have their first game in the state playoffs coming up tomorrow.
Here we go.
LSU here,
football
purple
squad
and gold.
Yeah.
No. Football.
They're working on it.
I thought, is the football team not in the playoffs?
No, they are.
We had a sophomore quarterback next year. He'll be back better than ever. Johnny Nonnenberg is going to be a dog, okay? And he knows that whatever that team needs financially, he has good backing, okay? Nice. We're also going to get a new scoreboard, I think is being chatted about. We're going to really we're going to try to turn that place into a place where people want to come play because John Nonnenberg might be a guy.
Yeah.
He might be. We might actually have
sophomore stud.
We might have an actual guy quarterback. So the football team's going to run wild for the next couple of years. Everybody needs to know that. Soccer team obviously big this weekend, purple and gold. LSU purple and gold. Those Baltimore helmets though, sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely sick. And these are the conversations we have where it's just keep doing it. Keep wearing it.
Why not?
Just keep the purple rain, just
the matte,
rising, just
matte
keep it going.
Kind of, right? Wasn't it?
There's only one change I would make. I think the Ravens logo is iconic, the one that goes from side to side. They had the head on.
They had the red eyes, though.
They had the face on. If they had those uniforms with the normal Raven logo on the helmet, I think that would have been the only change I would have made.
I like the all black with the purple too.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
mix and match.
You could bring that purple helmet back for an all black.
Bingo. Yeah. In the playoffs maybe. Or strictly prime time. Hey, these are our prime time helmets.
Do we have to start thinking about destiny teams whenever we talk about the Ravens and strictly off these two Cincinnati Bengals games they've had? Because first time, overtime, obviously, happens with the field goal. Then this game, what happens, a 2-point conversion, they get it, obviously come back late. It's Is this the year for the Baltimore Ravens? Are the football gods on the Baltimore Ravens side? And are the purple rising helmets are part of the reason why? Because they're so goddamn cool.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. And especially the atmosphere. Like, we've talked about this before, but Baltimore's kind of one of those underrated, stadiums to play at, especially when it's a prime time of playoffs.
Yeah.
The only thing is, and I think it dawned on me while I was watching last night again, the Chiefs are just so good.
Oh, come on.
That's all I could
Why
think
did that
about
dawn
while
on
I
you
was
last
watching
night, Con Man?
Just because, the Chiefs have such a complete team. I agree the Ravens are great, but the Chiefs last year in the playoffs, they were winning by running the football and playing defense. And I don't know if you can say that the Ravens can beat teams playing defense. They definitely can beat teams running the football. I mean, Derrick Henry's a specimen; he's ridiculous to watch. But their defense is a little bit of a liability, you could say. Okay, a
little bit.
And when you just watch it, the Chiefs just win. Okay, that's kind of.
Well, they lost Kyle Hamilton last night too. Kyle Hamilton went down with an ankle.
True.
Did they say what the prognosis is? How long he could be out? Maybe we'll see.
No,
it won't
somebody
be
FaceTime Adam Schefter.
Yeah, someone FaceTime Shefty.
Yeah, saw he walked off the field.
Hopefully, there's no fires going on in his house or whatever.
What's that, buddy?
I saw Kyle Hamilton. He did walk off the field though.
Yeah,
Son of a bitch.
he's not
definitely chilling with the boot on.
Shouldn't be too long. Yeah, he sat with the boot in the second half.
He's on the shirt.
Why do you think that's such a big deal?
What's going on, Con?
A lot of guys hurt their ankles, and they need help.
So in the same, he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth. Because he said Patrick Mahomes didn't walk off the field with his.
Well,
Patrick Mahomes went back on the field. That's what he said on the plane. You should have heard this guy. You should have heard this guy. 7:15 on the plane. 7:30 on the plane. Sorry, I was a little bit late this morning. Mackenzie peed on me. Okay, that was great. That was a great morning. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So classic. So yeah, not the first time, but certainly. Yeah. Definitely the most. I mean, it was a.
Did you stand there just let it continue to pee on?
You kind of have to.
I didn't know it was happening, and then
because you're trying to block the wall in your furniture too. If they're peeing on you, like, oh, you got to hit the shoulder. You got to find a way.
Yeah, like talk. You got to definitely do that. The diaper, I guess, in her onesie had slid. At some point.
Oh yeah.
And I was holding her to, say, hey, I gotta go. I love you. Yada yada. The whole song and dance. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm dancing with her. She's doing her hips. We're doing a little bit of this. And I can't feel anything. I mean, top of the world. And then I go to move her, and I realize, holy shit, my whole torso is drenched right now.
Sure.
And I'm like, is everything okay? And then my arm drenched. I'm like, oh, you just pissed on me. And then massive smile, big laugh. Obviously, got to take the onesie off. Got to do a whole new diaper. I got to change. I got to wipe off urine off of me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a whole morning. But as soon as we get to plane to take off, we start talking about the game. And he goes, Kyle Hamilton getting hurt. It's a big deal. He walked off the field, though. And I was like, tough guy. Yeah, didn't come back, though, right? Didn't come back? He goes, no, but he walked off the field. Unlike Patrick Mahomes. I was like, what?
Wow.
Well, this is 7:35 a.m.
Who you taking shots at?
I said I like Patrick Mahomes.
This is 7:35 a.m. on a play. That's like his one big takeaway was like, Patrick Mahomes didn't walk off the field whenever he heard it.
You guys didn't hear? You guys didn't hear the news?
What?
Mahomes ruptured his Achilles, and then Taylor healed him.
Okay.
I didn't hear that.
That's the problem.
I did see that.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, I did see that, but
I would believe it. By the way, after going to that concert,
it's nothing against Mahomes, and I still like Mahomes. It's just there's nothing wrong with it.
But Mahomes came back and played, Con Man.
Bingo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you milk an injury a little bit.
Milk an
When he comes back, look, I'm just saying he's arm in arms with guys.
He almost fought Andy Reid.
I for sure thought that he did rupture his Achilles.
Very worried.
I was actually thought that in the moment that happened. I was like, oh my God, his season's over. The Chiefs are now going to have to deal with the Carl Wentz show going forward. And DeAndre Hopkins is going to be miserable again. But it didn't happen. But he was arm in arm getting carried off the field, and I was like, that stinks. And then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, he's jogging on the field like nothing happened. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, he comes back and plays. We saw in the quarter, he didn't poop his pants. Okay, that was a poop situation.
Patty poop.
Paulie poops. Wasn't that where you got the?
Got you one of these.
Oh yeah, bingo. Yeah, against the Lakers.
Yeah, had to poop. I mean, sometimes you eat different things.
That'd be cool. See, I'd probably get a jersey if that happened.
You should get a jersey anyways. The guy's about to do something. Talk shit, hangs out with the boys.
He's got to dump his pants for you to get a jersey?
Nah, I'm just saying it would be cool.
Certainly help.
You don't think that'd be cool?
All right, let's talk about the NFL. Cool, last night obviously goes down to the wire. Congrats to the Bengals covering plus 6.5. That was the most obvious bet of the year, I think. I don't know what Chuck Pagano was thinking yesterday. His schneid continues. He was a homer. 6.5 was so many points, though. It feels like we all said the same thing. Ravens win, Bengals cover. That was like we all look like super geniuses. You didn't even need to get on NFL Plus, Premium, Pro to know that to become a super genius. It was like, this is AFC North. Joe's playing great. Lamar's playing great. This is going to be a great game.
A lot of points.
We kind of understood that. Speaking of great games, Brian McCarthy here, he put out a post that's like, to date, we have had the most competitive season we've had all year from the NFL. The 2024 season is the most competitive NFL season to date. 75 games have been decided by 7 points or fewer, and 65 by 6 points or less. Both the most through Week 9 NFL history. Some other nuggets from NFL 345 as we head into the second half of the season. That's McCarthy here and there. 45.4 points per game is the highest average through Week 9 since 2021. Remember, earlier this season it was down. The boys have obviously made up for it. 91.7 passer rating is the 5th highest mark through Week 9 NFL history, trailing only 2020, 2018, 2021, and 2019. The issue with that stat there is all those years are recent memory. So whenever at the beginning of the season it's not as good, it's like everybody thinks they're down, still playing great football. 65.3 completion percentage, the 3rd highest percentage through Week 9 all time, trailing only 2020 and 2021. Once again, very recent history, so everybody's going to judge off of that. Rush yards per game, the most through Week 9 since 1990. And that's been the talking point about football being so cyclical. It's almost like power football is all the way back.
Yeah, all the way back. And when you just think about some of the running backs we're missing, like McCaffrey's not playing, and this is still happening in the running game. Like, it almost as if either the schemes are better, maybe the depth of running backs are better. I mean, Chase Brown, me and Gumby were talking about this morning. Like, I don't know where the hell he came from, but he's awesome. Like,
just like Gorinda for
bingo for San Fran, the third string. It's like Guerrero could start for some teams, and he might not see the field when McCaffrey gets back. Like, it is great, and that is another reason why, a guy for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco. We haven't even been seeing him play. Like, wait till that guy gets back. The running game is all the way back.
AJ, I think you'd be able to talk about this more, but I think everybody wants small to be able to go from one side of the field to the other when to spread offense. Yep. And a lot of these offense coordinators, I think, realize that and were like, let's take advantage. Baltimore obviously being at the forefront of that whole thing, like numerous years back. San Francisco, same way. Atlanta for a long time has been. But it feels like a lot of offense coordinators are like, we could take advantage of the lack of meat on the defensive side of the ball that this new football has. AJ, you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we know football is that you got to be able to play in space, and that's been going on for a little while, 10, 15, 20 years, I feel like. Put guys in space, get the ball to your playmakers, and let them go to work. And so teams are trying to get away with, all right, hey, it might be first, second down. I'm going to try to get away with playing nickel, dime, try to get some more DB, some coverage guys in, and offenses are trying to take advantage of that. Put in a guy like Patrick Ricard. Okay, cool. You want your dime backer to take on Patrick Ricard or somebody else? I know I sure as hell don't. So, yeah, I think it's fun to see, but also those stats are kind of like an indictment on defenses in the NFL, though. You're basically saying offensive production's way up. What's defense? What's going on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, I think we should also look at, like, 45.4 points per game, I guess, kind of is a stat against this, but there's been a lot of, and you tell me if I'm wrong, AJ, you know a lot better than me, but it feels like a lot of defenses have gone, and Mel Kiper hates this, but it's like,
Ben, but hey,
we'll let them get, yeah, we'll let them get yards, 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 and then once we get in here, like, okay. Yeah. We're going to kind of tighten up. We'll take the 4-point swing as opposed to a 7-point swing. We'll let them get a field goal or a long field goal attempt because remember, field goal kickers, long ball is way up right now. Yep. So maybe that's a part of the points as well because coaches are going for it, but also it might be how the defenses are playing where it gets a little stingy down there near the end zone, and that might just be the evolution of this entire thing, AJ.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I think of like the Chicago Bears, shout out Z, back in the day with Urlacher and Lance Briggs on their defense. When I was in Green Bay, we'd play them. They'd sit in Tampa, too, sometimes, 85% of the game. And they're like, all right, we're going to have our eyes on the quarterback. We're going to break on the ball. We're going to create turnovers. But you're going to complete a bunch of balls. And they want to try to force you to take shots over the top. And that's when they hope to create turnovers and make mistakes. But you can move the ball on them. But then once you get in the red zone, like, can you put the ball in the end zone and not settle for field goal?